Who the hell are you? I'm Jesus. You're not Jesus. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Why do you look like me then? Why do you resemble every single detail part of my body? Okay, fine, I'm Santa. Okay, you're definitely not Santa. You're way too young. Santa's supposed to be really old and you're like super young. I'm wearing red. Does that mean anything to you? Okay, fine, I'm a UPS worker. A UPS worker? I'm just a messenger, okay? Just chill out. It doesn't matter who I am. I'm just the messenger. Okay, messenger, what do you have to tell me? What, that I have 3 wishes that are going to be granted or something? I'm here to tell you that in the last month, in November, you didn't post a single Thanksgiving movie review. Well, this time it's December. It's Christmas season, and you have to do a Christmas movie review. Or else. Or else? What the hell are you talking about? I didn't say anything. You literally just said that I have to do a Christmas movie review, or else, and then you didn't say anything. Now, could you put some pants on? Pants go extinct in the next 5 years. Here are the options for Christmas movies. You have Elf. No, too original. You have Home Alone. No, can't. Too classic. You have the Santa Claus. No, someone already did a movie review of that. You have A Christmas Story. No, this is too original. No. Do you have any more? I think I might have one more. Well, it's this movie you probably never heard of, and I'm pretty sure it's garbage. It sucks. But the Claus Family. Okay, I'll do a movie review of that. Sure. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow, this is a cool movie. Wow. I guess it's probably gonna be complete garbage, but I'm gonna do a movie review of that. Whatever. Okay. At least you're doing a Christmas movie. Well, I guess I'm off. Dude, I can see you on the ground. You didn't disappear at all. You're just crawling on the ground, trying to pretend that you just disappeared. No, you didn't see anything. Everyone saw that. I saw it. I'm a witness. Okay. Now, okay, yes, I'll be doing a movie review of a Christmas movie, and it's not gonna be positive. Okay, as you just heard, the movie's called The Claus Family. And this movie's just non-entertaining. It's just like not very interesting, not entertaining, and all in all, just a big flop. But before I get into why I hate this movie and my whole introduction, I just want to say, just 1 or 2 positives about this movie. It's very Christmassy themed, I guess, because lots of snow. It does get you in kind of that Christmassy feeling, I guess, because it's kind of set in a Christmas environment, so yeah, it does kind of make you feel a little bit Christmassy. I mean, that's kind of it. That's the only reason. Everything else is pretty bad. So, it's a low-budget movie, and you can tell by the fact that there's, no trace of, whatsoever of what the budget of the movie was and how much money they made. There's just so little information on that. There's no information. I Googled it. I researched it, it just doesn't show it. They just removed it. And it really couldn't really be that bad. I mean, there's good cameras, I guess. But there definitely are moments where you're like, okay, it's pretty obvious that they just did that detail. They have that detail in because they didn't want to spend more money on something. For example, the Santa has a really short beard, and it's not even a fake beard, it's a real beard, and it's just it's not long, it's just short. They didn't even have the time to buy a fake prosthetic beard or something. That couldn't have cost that much money, right? I mean, I guess they're oh, whatever, this is the last thing, let's just who cares, we'll figure it out. I don't want to spend more money. Just grow up. Just grow a white beard. Just do that, okay? Do the easy way out, I guess. Not only that, but there's no reindeer and sleigh. Like Santa, I guess, just has a magical snow globe that teleports him anywhere in the world. I mean, do you really think they just did that to be unique? Do you really think they did that? No, they clearly just did that so they would avoid having to spend more money on like CGI for reindeer or having to use real reindeer in a sleigh. They're just clearly avoiding that. Also, this movie's a Dutch movie, so um it's originally in Dutch. No hate to the Dutch whatsoever. I think you guys make great movies, but this definitely isn't your strongest movie. Okay, so being a low budget movie doesn't necessarily mean that the movie will be bad. Like, there are plenty of low budget movies that end up being really good. Like the movie Rocky had a budget of like $1 million, still ended up being one of the best movies of all time. I mean, I'm not saying a low budget movie is necessarily bad because it all kind of comes down to like plot and acting. Those are the most important things I consider, like, to decide if a movie is good. But this movie is not good. It's got bad CGI, questionable plot details, and also there's also giant plot holes. And also the main character has like too many realization moments or epiphanies. Yeah, so this happens like 3 times where he's just like at first like the character wants to help this guy out, which in this case is his grandpa. Um then he's just like, okay, I don't want to do this. And then he's like, oh, I want to do this again. And then he's like, okay, now I don't want to do this. Now I do want to do this. That's how the movie is. It's like a bumpy road almost, you know. Okay, let's go over what the plot is. Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? He's just saying a bunch of random stuff. What is the plot of this movie? Just get on with it. Okay. So the plot of this movie is that this character named Jules, or Jewel, I guess. I don't know, they have like Dutch names, I guess. Yeah, so Jewel, he's an 11-year-old. He and his family are moving to Belgium. Because last year the father had died, and it's kind of close to Christmas, I guess. And I mean, they weren't kicked out of their house, and I don't think there was really a problem with like financial stuff, I guess. And in fact, like the very first scene, you see the grandma being like, "Why are you moving to Belgium? You could have had a nice home like back in the Netherlands. Why are you moving here? There's no point." And he's like, and the mom's like, oh, we just need like a fresh start. I mean, I guess I understand. Like when you lose a loved one, it's almost like you don't really want to be in that house because it brings too many sad memories. So, you know, they want to move to a new house. And Jules, or Jewel, I'll just call him Jewel. Jewel just like now hates Christmas because the dad actually died on Christmas or on Christmas Eve, I guess. So now he just hates Christmas. But his little sister still likes Christmas and is still hopeful and is always like, hey, are we gonna set up a Christmas tree? And then the mom's like, oh, of course, yeah, I'm gonna get one tomorrow. And then there's a scene where the mom is like reassuring the daughter, like, hey, we're gonna have a good Christmas this year. It's just gonna be like last year. It's just gonna be like how it used to be. And then Jewel just interrupted them when they weren't even talking to him, and he's just like, no, Christmas will never be the same. Even though they weren't talking to you, Jewel. They were not talking to you. I mean, strike one there. He wasn't even reassuring Jewel that they were going to have a good Christmas. The mom was reassuring the sister. So let the sister just believe what she wants, okay? You don't need to interrupt with your own ideas saying it's not, because they weren't talking to you. So the next day, now we're getting into the more important parts of the plot, is so we have the grandpa, who as you know is Santa, and you don't even need to know this information to know that he is Santa, because, like, he's the only guy with a white beard. He's on the cover, and actually they're visiting, he owns a toy shop. Oh my gosh. Not only that, but the movie is called The Claus Family. Okay, there. Like, you don't need to be a genius to tell that he is Santa. That's just a huge plot hole. Like, you know he's Santa, like, without, like, Jewel actually figuring it out, which he does figure out pretty fast when he finds his magical snow globe. And then there's this really funny part, probably the worst, like script I've ever seen, where he will first Jewel, like, he tests it out and he just starts being teleported to, like, different places around the world, and then he's also at, like, the North Pole, which is the small cabin, I guess, and he hears voices saying, "Santa Claus, is that you?" And it's a bunch of elves, but he doesn't actually see them, they're just knocking at the door, I guess. And yeah, and then when he gets back, he instantly confronts the grandpa, and he's like, "Are you Santa Claus?" And he just responds, "I don't know." He just responds by saying, "I don't know." Like, he just gives up the moment he sees he has a snow globe in his hand and he's wet for no reason, because he ended up being teleported to just the middle of the ocean as well. So he's just like, okay, there's no point in denying. He sees me. He saw that I can be teleported anywhere. But still, he probably could have come up with some excuse, right? I don't know. Like, sometimes I just feel it's a little weird, the fact that I have a white beard and I own a toy shop and my last name happens to be Claus. And your last name also happens to be Claus. You know, I just find it weird. Like, I have weird dreams of me riding on a sleigh and saying ho 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 and delivering presents to kids. That's what I always dream about. But who knows? Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am Santa. Who knows? So anyway, while they're at the grandpa's toy shop and Jules is kind of mad that he's Santa for no reason, he eventually injures himself. The grandpa does. He's at the hospital and they tell him you need a rest. The problem is he has to, he's got to work for Christmas. He's got to get those presents ready. So eventually he tries to sneak out. No one catches him though, except Jules, and he decides to actually help him just because he likes his grandpa, I guess. That was kind of the only reason. Like, he didn't offer anything. He just said, okay, I'll help you because I know you're kind of old and you're not really that physically capable of delivering presents. Like, he's a pretty old dude. He has multiple injuries and stuff. He's like, okay, I'll help. And then they go to the North Pole, which I guess is just this small cabin in the middle of this, like, lots of snow, which is really weird. Like, it's just in a tiny little cabin in the middle of nowhere, with snow surrounding it. And then we're introduced to the elves, which there's just something about these elves that I just cannot stand. I just do not like these elves. Like, first of all, like, they're, like, super tiny elves. Like, they're clearly just shrunk, like, using green screen or blue screen. And it's just weird because they just look like normal humans. It just looks so obviously fake. I just don't like these elves. Like, you could have made them a little bit bigger because, like, you know, like, I think elves that tiny are a little bit weird. And then we're later introduced to, like, where they store all the presents, and we see hundreds, if not millions, we see hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of presents. And then we're like, wait. You're telling me these 3 tiny elves were able to make, like, millions of presents? Like, that's just crazy. And, like, all in 1 month? Like, that's just unrealistic and just, like, a weird, like, what? How did they do that? Like, and yes, it actually is only 3 elves. Like, I know, like, there definitely are not any more L's. It's the only 3 L's. Actually, maybe 4 L's, 3 or 4 L's. I don't even know how many. But yeah, 3 or 4 L's that are so tiny that they're able to create all these presents. Like, what? And then that's basically the whole plot, is just him having to help his grandpa, like, deliver presents, and then him, like, deciding, no, I don't want to do this, and he's like, yes, I do want to do this, no, I don't want to do this, no, I do want to do this. It's just like an on and off again, like, sort of scenario, you know? And it's, all in all, like, just not that interesting of a plot. Like, there's no physical barrier stopping them from delivering these presents. It's just a mental barrier because Jules doesn't want to deliver presents, which he'll later learn that he's actually next in line to become Santa, because it's passed down through generation through generation. And it turns out his dad was Santa, and then when he learns that, that's like when he's like, no, I don't want to do this. Yeah, he just, like, it's a pretty boring movie, just like of him complaining, blah blah blah. He's a pretty selfish kid in general. And you know, we know why, like, his dad died, but still, he's just a selfish, not a very good character. He just makes things worse for others. You know, even at the end, you still feel like he's, like, not that good of a character. And when you're done with the movie, you're just like, what did I just watch? Nothing really happened. It was just like him deciding, okay, I want to help my grandpa, I want to help Santa. But I think the movie itself knows that it's not that interesting of a plot, not interesting storyline. So basically, I feel like what they're doing is just like shoving things in that have nothing to do with the plot, but just so you don't get bored. Like, we're even, like, introduced to this babysitter, and we later just randomly learn that she has a fake leg, which also kind of weird. And we also learn that the mom's job is at this chocolate chip cookie factory. And you're probably like, well, it's Christmas time, wouldn't they be making gingerbread? Nope. It's just chocolate chip cookies. And she actually recommends, like, hey, why don't I make my own special cookies, my special gingerbread cookies? They taste so good. But the boss is, like, a really mean boss. Like, no, you cannot make. Yeah, and then eventually they have this sort of, like, we later learn that the cookies aren't selling very well. People, like, don't really like them anymore. So they think, like, okay, what if the mom thinks that, okay, why don't I use my own cookie recipe? The problem is that it's not allowed. Okay, they can only use the current recipe, but they know that, like, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. Like, if they get caught, they'll probably get fired. But if they don't make these cookies, then they'll still get fired because they could go out of business. So they have, like, this sneaky process of actually trying to sneak these cookies into the boxes so they can be shipped. And it's actually kind of the only exciting part in this movie, which, by the way, has nothing to do with the real plot, because they just know that the real plot is really just not that interesting. You know, it's a pretty boring movie in general, so I would not recommend it. And you know what's even worse is they actually ended up making, like, 2 other movies, even though the movie itself didn't even do that good. But I'm pretty surprised that they made 2 other movies. So whatever. I mean, if you want to check out those movies, go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you. But if you want something really interesting, then watch my YouTube videos, because I can guarantee it's probably more interesting than that movie.